So similar theme, tech very strong. These semi names were looking a little bit like a short-term topping pattern up here, given the pull last week. But similar thing we mentioned, it backs into this prior resistance level, turns into support, and it's now back in this little Mickey Mouse flag in between, this 10-point range. So keeping an eye on the tech names, keeping on the semi names, see if they can follow tech and push their new highs. And then kind of the laggard in the bunch has been healthcare and these biotechs. And healthcare, again, looked pretty terrible at the beginning of this year, but it continues to get tighter. It continues to step up off support. We're not seeing new lows getting tested. We're just seeing this little wedge starting to form. Again, very undervalued sector compared to all the rest. You have tech pushing their all-time highs, semis at highs, utilities at highs, you have telecom names near highs, financials near highs. This is the one sector that is near the lower end of the range, but as this continues gets tighter, it should give us some opportunity. Again, could be a few months from now, but when this breakout happens, we'll keep a close eye on those healthcare names and catch that, basically catch up move with the rest of the sectors. So moving on from the sectors, we'll go into some names I'm keeping a close eye on. Again, we had this QCOM today, starting to poke out of this base here through this 160. Let me get rid of the old note there. With earnings coming up on Wednesday, did not take this trade. Again, we'll wait till earnings passes, but just keeping an eye on this area. Maybe there's an opening range breakout after earnings through this like 164 area. But for now, we want to keep on the radar until after it reports. Next up, we have SCSC. We can see very tight bull flag here. This is kind of the overall range. And then more recently, we can see the name continues to get kind of tighter and tighter here in this $2 range. So just keeping a close eye on that 42 breakout. Again, earnings not until end of August, so still plenty of time here if it wants to break out and kind of run back into this 44 to 48 area. Next up, we have Visa. Again, we were talking earlier about the Dow 30 names. Dow 30 forming a nice bull flag breakout setup on its overall chart. And then we have Visa, one of those Dow 30 names, forming a nice little flag here under this 360. Again, earnings, it's going to be a recurring theme here. It's earnings season, kicking off. So earnings tomorrow, if we get opening range breakout or, a non-crazy gap up, we can keep a closer eye on that one. Next up, we have Walmart. Again, we were looking at that entry last week through 96, and now we have this bigger breakout through 100. So that was more that feeler entry. And then we have this bigger breakout setting up through 100. We have this ADP, similar to that Visa. We can see a pretty clear level of resistance at this 310 area. Again, not the tightest name, still a bit wide. But if we see this little pull in, we see, a nice higher pivot low, keep on the radar. Again, earnings on Wednesday, so we want to wait until after Wednesday for this name. Another Dow 30, very tight wedge forming in this Costco here. Gap down today. Again, still holding above the prior pivot low, still technically fine. So just keeping an alert for this 69 breakout to push that to new 52-week high.